This week on the Big Boss Book Club, due to a mass of technical issues, I'm joined by my fellow Bravo Bros to do a special Bravo Bros podcast. We're going to talk about whether or not Bravo is going to win the World Championships for Flesh and Blood, which of course we all know the answer to that. We talk civic steps and whether or not the card is total garbage and why Pascal's wrong about it. And we're also going to talk about whether or not Star of the Show is actually going to do anything in the Living Legend format. All that and more this week on the Big Boss Book Club X Bravo Bros. Hello and welcome to the Big Boss Book Club. This is going to be a very odd episode because I have no notes, which is very unusual. This is Big Boss Book Club X Bravo Bros. So unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we're doing this as a podcast as opposed to a video. Therefore, I'll be taking the reins. Joining me today to discuss all things Bravo is, of course, the man who usually hosts, the CEO, CFO, COO, Coffee Boy, Maitre D, from Go Again Gaming. Azz, how's it going, my friend?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, all good. We've had a lot of technical difficulties today, and
that doesn't even cover it, does it?
No, exactly. Yeah, it's been nice though because Pascal has not had technical difficulties, and he's here on the call as well. And we just got to watch him play Remnant for about 20 minutes, which was nice.
Yeah. Remnant is a good game if you like cooperative multiplayer shooters. Yeah.
was that cooperative?
Yes. Oh. I mean, no, it was not cooperative. I was playing on my own, but technically it's cooperative for 3 players.
Oh, okay. Before we do go any further, actually, obviously, we're also joined by Pascal. You mentioned, obviously, you couldn't hear me because I was yelling at my mic that wasn't working. I also played Resistance 1 and 2, and Resistance 2 was phenomenal online. Me and my friend Harrison, when I was at uni, he would like come over and stay like weekends and stuff, and we would literally spend like all evening playing Resistance 2 online, and I would always be the medic because the medic had like what was essentially the Ghostbusters, the proton gun from Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
And when it fired at a partner, it would go green and it would heal them. And if you fired it at an enemy, it would go red and it would hurt them. And there's a bit in one of the online levels where a massive monster comes over the cliff. Like you're all fighting underneath, then a massive monster comes over and you got to kill it. Where me and 3 other medics turned and fired at it. And my mate Harrison turned to look, and you could see on the screen, and it literally looked like the Ghostbusters.
So that's great.
He just went, "Have you seen this?" And I looked at the screen, and I was like, "Hey, we're the Ghostbusters." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So yeah, fun little memory there.
That was a PlayStation exclusive, wasn't it?
Resistance, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was them trying to do like Halo, wasn't it? I think
so. Yeah, Halo, Gears of War style thing.
Yeah. We should do a episode on that as well. That'd be really fun. Anyway, we are here obviously for Bravo Bros. So we have a few talking points that we're going to go into today. First talking point, the first thing on the docket, Bravo showstopper. Is he going to win the Worlds?
There's been quite a few discussions already as to where Bravo sits, and I'd love to hear Fedir's take. Is Fedir taking Bravo to Worlds? Because he's going, isn't he? Do you know if he's going?
I think he's definitely hardly considering to take Bravo to Worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, Bravo is not in a bad spot at the moment. He's in his bright days still. I'm not sure how good he's going against this other meta or other cards or other heroes of the meta, but for example, against Roma, he still has a good shot even with the new cards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The new cards will definitely make it harder, but it will go down from a 90 to like an 80 or 70% win rate, which is still very, very good. And I'm just not sure about the ninjas Fedir doesn't have problems with, or doesn't have issues with ninjas. I lose to Kodachis. Kodachis is like my mortal enemy, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with Kodachis.
Mm.
And so
Is Bravo like? Is he trying to be more aggressive now then, rather than defensive against these new things?
I think more defensive, because you can actually be. It's easier to be defensive now. Also with Fyandel's fighting spirits, even though I don't like the card. I think we agree on that, Tom.
Yeah, I must admit, I had it in my deck, and every time I looked at it, I was like, I don't want this in the deck, and I kept taking it out, and I kept putting it back in, and eventually I've just settled with it being out of my deck.
Yeah, because me and Fadir had the same issues with it. We tried it, but we just don't like it.
Yeah.
But I can see that it gets more useful when you have the current rune blades in the meta, who you can block out with fighting spirits and still gain a life, and also with the Kodachis, where you can actually prevent two Kodachi or block two Kodachis with one fighting spirit for some with the life gain in it, which
Oh, I
also
see. Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
it more difficult to get into the Kodachi lock. Um, so I think it has a brighter future with the new meta than it had with the old one to use the fighting spirits. But I think generally seen, to rush a Katsu is way harder than to fatigue a Katsu. And also, this order is going to destroy you. If it hits, you won't be able to use the dominate effect, and then you can't win them against Katsu.
Yeah, because he just literally will get you into Kodachi lock, and that's it, isn't it? Then it's pretty
Yeah,
much game over, because
exactly.
he's just going to ding, ding, and you'll die
So
before he does.
it kind of depends on what's going to fill the gap that Lexi leaves, and which hero is going to stay there. If
Yeah,
there's
because I
with
was
enough
listening to
variety,
Arsenal Pass earlier, and you know, I'm not a meta slave by all means, but I've listened to their podcast quite a lot, and you can learn quite a lot from them.
yeah,
So it's definitely a good one to listen to, even if you're not a competitive player like me. It's nice to get some tips and sort of insights there. But they were saying that there is no, like, for the last couple of Pro Tours, there was always an aggressive deck. Whereas now, going into Worlds, we don't know what that aggressive deck is, because Lexi was the aggressive deck, but she's not there anymore. So
No.
we got the ninjas like Katsu and Fi, but no one has really discovered what that aggressive deck's going to be at Worlds. Because obviously you've got Dromai, which is the main deck that everyone thinks, oh yeah, this is the best one. Then people are obviously looking at Bravo as a way to counteract that with multiple poppers and other things. And interaction as well. Like, obviously, Bravo throws massive attacks, and obviously Azalea is being looked at. Azalea folds to Bravo most of the time if he wants to be aggressive, or if he wants to defend as well. So I absolutely hate Bravo as an Azalea player,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah.
It's a
So
love-hate relationship. Love-hate
yeah, exactly.
relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I think Azalea is in a bad spot anyway, because Tromai is in a good spot, and that makes it very hard for Azalea to pivot over there. And
Mm.
if Bravo is like the second most played deck, it's going to be very hard for Azaleas to go through somewhere.
Do we think we'll see numbers ticking up? Because I've noticed the last couple. I don't generally. I really don't pay attention at all. But in the last couple of streams that I have picked up little bits, I have noticed a massive drop in Bravo attendance. I don't know if that's just in these particular events, maybe just where things are. But do we think there's going to be that big of a surge of uptick in Bravo?
I think it'll be the second most played deck at
Hmm.
Worlds.
I think so too, because it's such a good counter for Dromai.
Yeah.
Depends if the new toys for Dromai are so good that they can actually just crush out Bravo. Then maybe not, but I don't think that the cards will have that big of an impact. They will have an impact. They will make the matchup quite more winnable. Um,
That's
and
the thing.
people
Like,
who always
Bravo can still go wide and kill multiple dragons. Obviously, you can put E strikes in there, you can put
yeah
zealous beltings in there, and then when it comes back round to your turn, you can pop and end their turn straight away, and then you're off again to throw a big massive attack that can
yeah. I mean,
potentially
I did
still
cut E
interact.
strike for the meta before, whilst Lexi was in there. in order
Yeah.
to have some counter cards for Lexi. So now with Lexi gone, I can put back E-Strike in my deck, and then I have Zealous Belting and E-Strike each 3 times, which are go again attacks, like 6 go again attacks. Rouse the Ancients, which are already 9 go again attacks,
Oh yeah.
and then you can go quite wide
Oh
into
yeah,
Dromai.
Rouse Ancients. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And rouse the ancients into hammer, rouse the ancients to face into a hammer to a dragon is also a very good pressure point where you can actually take some cards out of their hand. And
Yeah.
If they choose to play defensive against Bravo, they will have absolutely 100% control over their deck in order to be able to turn the tables around in the late game. Um, I played quite a lot of games into Droma, and I must say I feel very safe into the Redline version and also in the Big Dragon version. Um, both of the decks can have a very big win percentage against Bravo if they completely know what they're doing, if they are perfect in pitch stacking, and if they don't draw complete garbage at the beginning. Um,
Yeah.
but if last thing doesn't happen, a very good Dromai player can have at least a 50-50 matchup against Bravo. But that would need to be like multiple hundreds of reps into Bravo. They are not allowed to make one mistake, otherwise they just lose. And Bravo is on the safe side here because Bravo doesn't have the possibility to make too many misplays, because most of the times all options are good options against Romai. So you can
Yeah.
just choose any option and it will be good enough. I mean, don't pop with your reds, pop with the blue 6, play your red. That's basically it, and that's a very very strong play pattern against Dromai.
So I've played Droma a few times with Bravo, especially in Blitz, and yeah, I've never once felt overly. Obviously, this is before the latest card. That was mainly the tome thing, isn't it? That's pretty much
Yeah.
the big deal. But I before that, but I've never once had a problem. Like I've always kind of been like, oh, Droma, nice easy win.
Well, the thing is, I think in CC, Dromai can actually have a game plan against Bravo. I think in Blitz it will be more difficult because you don't have like the resources to block enough and still do
Yeah.
something. But in CC, basically, either you go with the red line version where you just want to deal like 20 damage over the game, and in the late game you finish off with after playing a Tumultai and destroying the null rune, you go in with 3 burn them alls and chrome eyes to
Right.
make very big turns. But you need to pitch stack that perfectly. But then you can go like have 3 burn them alls out, chrome eye into chrome eye into chrome eye, no, mirror guy into chrome eye into chrome eye into chrome eye in one turn. And then you can actually build some pressure up, because with some ash wings that Bravo is not supposed to handle normally, you can go quite wide in the late game. But that's mostly in with the last 6 to 10 cards where they can do that. And if you survive that on that barrage, you just won. But that's like the only way I lost to Dromai so far when they did that, which needs to be perfect pitch stacked. Also, complete control of both decks and complete. They have to have in mind what you pitched and what you can still have and everything. So, if they have that level of play quality, then they might have a chance against Bravo regularly. So
Hmm.
it is not a safe win for Bravo. But since people will pick up Dromai as a new player or as new Dromai players for Worlds because it's the
Yeah.
best deck at the moment, they
Exactly.
will definitely have no idea how to play into Bravo. So before the top tables or before day 2 maybe even you won't meet any Dromai players that are so good if you are not completely unlucky. And Bravo is the easier deck to play in this matchup. Bravo is way easier to play in this matchup. Um, so I still think we as Bravo players are on good terms with the meta. It's just a question how many ninja players will be there, because ninjas are, in my opinion, quite difficult to handle. But other Bravo players disagree with me on that, so that's just a me thing.
No, I think I'm with you there. I don't particularly like playing into ninjas as Bravo. They were saying earlier about the finals, fighting spirit, and more inclined to keep it in blitz than I was to keep it in CC. So because you're more likely to bump into Ira and then Katsu, Benji. So you're more likely to encounter ninjas in blitz than you are in CC. And it's like you said, if you get the life gain out of it, it is essentially a 3-block. Essentially,
yes. A 3-block that you can split over 2 attacks, which is great.
So I do. Ninjas.
But yeah, looking at the decks that people think are going to show up. So Dromai is the first one. So that's one thing that Bravo has to deal with. The next one is whoever's going to take the mantle of the aggressive deck. Now, obviously, this could be Azalea because the optics are all on her at the moment with regards to her calling win and all this, and the fact that she still has access to the Ranger cards and some of the most powerful cards in the game, like Codex and Red in the Ledger and stuff like that. That's another thing that Bravo has to deal with, but that's easily enough for Bravo because Bravo can block with the armor on the most pivotal turns, and obviously
civic steps.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get into that after we've sort of looked at the matchups Bravo might have at Worlds. But yeah, he can easily block the pivotal turns that she has, stop the reloads and all this, and then throw a choke slam or throw a starstruck or throw a crippling crush, which just dismantles her because she can't block.
Spinal crush
Or a spinal. Yeah.
Just any red card is just a hard counter to Azalea.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did notice there, when as used the words, "Oh, she's got some of the best cards in the game," he was like, "Oh yeah, Codex and Red in the Ledger." I was like, "Fuck." Saying that actually is pretty good.
Red in the Ledger. You mean the worst, the bad version of Spinal Crush, right?
Yeah. I didn't say to I played against my friend Martin a while ago. Completely offshoot here of what we're talking about. I just thought I'd get it in while we're going. He was playing as Bravo. I was playing as Arachne Solitary Confinement, and I hit the Infiltrate, and the card that was banished was Spinal Crush. And on his next turn, he couldn't do anything, so he ended his turn. It came back to my turn, and the first thing I did was throw that Spinal Crush at him.
Brilliant.
So yeah, just the thing there you're saying about Spinal Crush. That's a funny little throwback.
That's a card that we really haven't seen any play with, and that's Infiltrate. Being able to steal your opponent's card and then play it against them. That's something that we haven't seen at all yet because the assassins just. Well, I guess it's more of an Arachne card, right?
Yeah.
Infiltrate.
Yeah.
Because you look at the top card and leave it there or whatever.
Yeah, it's Arachne Solitary Confinement. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I don't think you can see in many. I don't think it's popping up in many Azori lists. It's not something you're going to see much of. I don't think.
No, the only things you can. Yeah, the only times you can see your top of your opponent's deck is with Arachne's ability or something like Scout the Periphery. You can look at the opponent's deck. But that just seems too much to try and get it off, really. But
Azalea, but going back quickly to what you're saying about Azalea, she picked up a couple of ProQuest wins as well, I believe. So, the field poly is there where she's essentially what Bravo Light. So you've got, if that's the way to do it, I think that's pretty cool, even if it's not necessarily.
She's an aggressive deck. The Death Dealer builds an aggressive deck, which can also counter the aggro decks like Fi and Ninjas, because Red in the Ledger hits. You're taking an extra turn. So that's why she was so good when Lexi was around, because she could dismantle Lexi to a certain degree as long as they didn't high roll. She's in a weird place at the moment. Warmongers is still a thing. Which can just dismantle your turn every now and again.
That, isn't there?
Sometimes you can get around it, sometimes you can't.
Isn't that good against Dromai as well, though? Are people going to be Bravo? Is Bravo taking it? Is Bravo taking Warmongers? Do you think into Worlds?
I'm not sure about it because I tested it into Dromai and felt so underwhelming. I would have rather just had any 6 attack in my hand.
Yeah.
It's good against it's good against Azalea, but the Azalea matchup is not too bad without it anyway. So
Yeah.
why take the card with me? And I can also, I mean, I think at the moment I would prefer to have Fienda's Fighting Spirits in there for the in case ninjas.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a couple of the Dromai lists had the Warmongers in. I think Nick Butcher's list had Warmongers in, and obviously Justin went round that really well. But also, I think ninjas in general can run Warmongers because it's a blue block 3, and it's a perfect tech against what would be their worst matchup, a Ranger, which can take their whole turns away from them. So you
Yeah.
might see it in ninjas. But going back to Bravo, yeah, obviously. What else is there? Icelander is another one that people think might be at Worlds quite a lot. How does Bravo fare into Icelander? Well or not?
Okay, I would say okay.
Yeah, I would put that as good, just because you're still at the end of the day. If it's playing the Bullander build, maybe I don't know, maybe a little bit. But if you're
If
playing
it's a
like
Bullander
standard,
build, it's fair, yeah.
yeah. But if you're seeing even like heavy on the arcane, you're probably still weathering that storm as Bravo, aren't you?
Well, but if they play the OTK version with the Ice Eternal and just play on that, difficult to go. It's difficult to play around that. I mean, of course, with the bannings that happened, it got way easier to win against. It's not a bad matchup anymore. But even if they just full on go on that and just block out everything else, it is not too easy to crush through. It's possible, but it's not a good matchup. It's just I would say it's an even matchup.
Okay. Do we think? I can't see there being any problems with Leviah, Bolton, New Prism. I can't see any of them making a big
No, I don't think
impact
they'll
at
be at
Worlds.
Worlds at all. No, I don't
I
think they'll be
tried.
there.
I had some games into the New Prism.
I hope there's something
One,
that comes after that.
I did win.
Okay, good. Good.
I did not manage to lose any life.
Oh, very good.
Wow.
I played against New Prism at the Nationals in the Blitz PTI event. It was the only game I won. But I
Yeah.
was playing as KO, so it was a very difficult matchup for them.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I played against the New Prism in CC as Bravo and as Uzuri, and I didn't manage to lose any life in both version. I also played against Teklo Daddy last week.
I was going to ask
on
actually, how are we thinking about the new mechs?
Well, I was playing Uzuri this week, and he blocked with equipments, and I just used already dead. So it was a loss in turn 1.
I like it. I like it.
Banished equipment, isn't it? That one, I believe.
Yeah, I banished his equipment, so he wasn't able to actually summon anything or equip up anything. It was the chest piece as well, so he was just completely locked out of the game after turn 1. And
Singularity.
he also played against Bravo. He used Singularity there, and it seems if you block with the Mecha Prophet a lot, and your opponent thinks, "Oh, Buckle Anathos is a fun thing," you lose the game.
Yeah.
Love it.
Classic combo.
Love it.
Yeah. So he basically just banished the opponent.
Yeah.
Destroyed the opponent.
Destroy the opponent. Yeah.
Target player loses the game, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very close game. Both were blocking quite a lot, and Bravo was on like 20 cards, and Teklo Daddy was on 10 cards. And yeah, the issue with the Mecha Prophet, it is good as like a spike turn, but if the spike turns are survived, you're not going to do anything. You just lose. So when you transform Teklovossen, it needs to be like the killing blow, and if not, it's not enough. And it was a pretty new Bravo player, and yeah, he still managed to with just blocking. He was just trying to block out without like making too many decisions of attacking, blocking, and so on, and it was still enough to go by. So I must say, the new hero from the new heroes, Dash IO is actually the one that's the most scary to me
Oh,
as a
really?
Bravo player. Yeah, because I've seen some crazy turns with her, just complete bonkers. Um,
Just playing loads from the top of the deck.
yeah, I mean, you can just always look at the top cards, so you can actually boost away the cards you don't need and have extra cards in hand, which is such a value machine. That's I mean, we did not see her pivot enough, but I've seen some crazy turns happening, and if those crazy turns get more stable and more regular, that can actually be very scary. Also, potential for an aggro deck, like the new aggressive deck. I can imagine that being Dash IO more so than Max.
I was
The
going to say, what do you
hype
think about
Nitro.
Max? Yeah.
I love it. I love how the deck plays. I just think it's slightly below the power level it needs to be
Mm.
at the moment with the aggressive lists that you can play.
The common, so random offshoot again. The key, I've been building all these commoner decks to give out to people, and I've basically bought a bulk load of bright lights commons and stuff to build them as well. And
Yeah.
every commoner deck I've seen for Max has basically been. I mean, it's basically been Bravo. You're talking like you're talking like it's all the 2-3 cost attacks. They're all like 6+ damage pummels.
Oh my god.
The equipment set is Goliath Gauntlet and Heart and Cross Strap, and it's like I thought I was playing Mech. No, not
Yeah, but
playing Bravo.
the big issue with that is that Banksy is not Anothos, and Anothos is way
No,
better than Banksy.
yeah, nothing's better than that. Well, I don't know actually.
Well,
Winter's Whale.
yes, just wanted to say, there's another hammer that's actually way better than Anothos,
Yeah,
but at the moment you
Winter's Whale.
can't play it in CC.
No,
uh,
but we'll get into a format you can play it on shortly. Um, any other
yeah.
heroes who we think maybe I can't see the being Riptide. Do we think Riptide?
I mean, Riptide is not too bad. Riptide is like was always the worst version of Lexi. With Lexi
Mm,
gone, there's a spot, and he's not bad. He is a good
no.
hero,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he has the ability.
When I was speaking to Justin about the Azalea win, he went on to say about the power of Death Dealer. Now, Death Dealer Riptide can use, you
Mm,
know,
Yes,
so it's not completely out of the question that Riptide could be something worth looking at again, because his ability to reload off of any card from hand is also pretty good for being able to get something into your arsenal twice in a row rather than just having one activation of Death Dealer. And
yeah.
yeah,
Death Dealer off of a tunic is a ridiculous turn.
and on top of that, as soon as the opponent is on 1 or 2 health, he can just kill.
You can just
In the
kill, yeah,
opponent's, he can just kill.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sets the traps, triggers them. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's on par, isn't he?
yeah.
and
So
he has the same issues as Azalea does, with Dromai being a bad matchup,
yeah,
and also Bravo being not the greatest matchup.
yeah.
What?
But again, with
Mm,
Riptide, sometimes you can get around, like the old tech I used against you a few times. Take cover, reload a D react into your arsenal, and then play that D react from arsenal. He can do that standard because when he plays a card from hand, he can then reload a card, can't he?
Yeah, but
yeah.
Basically.
the issue is most of the cards don't most of the traps won't trigger against Bravo,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
most of his traps block for 3. So with take cover into another trap, he just blocks 7, which still goes through with the crippling crush.
Yeah. So
So
you still need your red D reacts then for it to work,
yeah,
basically, to
exactly.
block
Yeah.
Or
effectively.
you or block with 3 cards from hand, and then just having 1 left, which is not enough to have a turn.
Yeah.
So crippling trust still gives you an extra turn against Riptide, and Riptide also can't use equipment that blocks well, like Azalea
No,
can't.
No.
no.
So it is like the 2 main decks that will most likely see a lot of play are bad matchups for him as well. So
No, it's good. It's a good thing to bring up though, because nobody even looks at Riptide, and everyone just like, nah, CBA can't be asked. Look at that, but it could be worth looking
Yeah.
at.
It can be worth
As
looking
a
at. It's
as a Bravo player, Bravo just
yeah.
runs over Riptide like he does anyway. But if
He
we're not
doesn't. No,
talking about Bravo,
it is more difficult than Azalea, in my
oh
opinion.
yeah,
We have a local
Yeah.
we have a local Riptide player who mains Riptide, and he always goes 2-1, and he only loses to Dromai.
Yeah,
yeah.
I played a lot against Riptide when he first came out in Blitz on like Talshar, and I was getting so frustrated. I just could not seem to pick up the win against him. I literally, like, if you looked at like my stats, you would just see just loss and loss and loss and loss to Riptide. I did not know how. It was only after I made some changes to my deck, courtesy of Andrew Donnelly and I can't remember the name of the chat. Is it Dragon or Metal Dragon or something like that? I made some changes to the list, and then since then never lost a game against.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I think I've got this because I mean the traps that really he'll trigger are the go again one. That's if you're using Rouse the Ancients or like E Strike or Cells Belting, and the one where you pump your attack, because obviously if you swing the hammer for 6, it's pumped its attack, and I think that's the blood. No, it's not the blood pox. That's the frailty one.
I can't remember. I can just say my strategy against him is just to attack with a dominated attack and having the pummel as a
On
backup.
standby. Yeah.
And if he uses the traps to cancel out the crush effect, you can just pummel on top of it, which is a very stable version. Also with Anathos, just don't make a seismic surge, just attack for 4 and keep the reaction as a backup.
Yeah.
Or just attack for 4 and don't attack for 6, which also deals damage continuously. Yeah. But
how about Kano?
Yeah, Kano is always a one-trick pony anyway. Whenever he's not expected, he will win. And I think he would not be in a too well spot with a tome and all the Ash Wings that have Arcane Barrier.
Yeah, but there's only so many times you can picture red.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming at you with the Arcane 5, Arcane 6, Arcane 25, or whatever the hell you can get up to, like there's only so many Ashwings. It doesn't matter how many Ashwings you've got if you've only got 3 reds in hand.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you don't expect him, he will just run over and get wins until people respect him again, and then he can't go through.
Yeah,
that's just the fate of Kano. I think. Did we? Yes, Uzuri. I think Uzuri is something we can also keep in the backhand. Her
because she's got
red
6
line,
plus attacks.
Yeah, her red line list where you just switch more or less out and go more aggressive doesn't have too bad of a chance into Dromai as well, and also into Bravo. Yeah, but I don't think that she will be as prominent as the other ones. And I think that would be settling all the heroes that are going to be played.
Yeah, the only other ones really are people have been saying Rhinar is a very good counter to Dromai.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So
between his ability and the brute attacks.
Yeah, because
I thought
Dromai can defend quite well.
Yeah, I thought we already did discuss this with Levia and Rhinar. They are in an okay spot at the moment because they can just overrun Dromai with the 6 attacks, pop, and still attack for 12.
Yeah.
They surely are in there. They also have a very even matchup against Bravo, in my opinion. Rhinar more so than Levia, because Levia can just die to Blood Depth without having enough cards for the late game with the new legendary hero. Yeah. So to the big discussion, civic steps and why they're so good.
Look at that, your change of subject.
Do you know what? I told him I'd let him have one shot, and for helping me fix the microphone, that was his shot.
That was it. They're good. That's it. Conversation over.
They are garbage. So I've got it with me actually, because obviously originally we would have been filming. Yeah, so I wanted to put it up to the screen and show people the utter garbage. The fact that you had to spend, like, I don't mind because I was buying it anyway to have a laugh, but like the fact that people were actively saying on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, that they were buying the box solely for this card, for me, is like, you dumb, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, we're on the podcast, so I'm not going to swear. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, come on, no,
Yeah,
it's
that's
garbage.
that's. I mean, the fact that you would have to buy the box just to have it is not good.
No,
That's garbage. That fact is garbage. We don't need to discuss about that. But
uh,
the card effect itself on a competitive level in good use is very good, because there are so many there's so many heroes that will have a go again on any card anyway,
yeah,
so it doesn't make a difference if they get a quicken token or not.
yeah,
um
I 100% agree there. Like, I was thinking about this earlier while I was on the toilet, because that's where I do my best thinking,
Absolutely.
and I was like, you know what, the quicken token against most heroes, especially in, like, for example, Blitz, a very go again heavy format, like, because you've got
yeah,
more ninjas, even more ninjas, and you've got
yeah,
more fucking assassins. I've just swore, sorry. Like, yeah, the go again isn't necessarily going to be the biggest issue, because pretty much everything they're throwing is going to have it either inbuilt, or if they are going to take advantage, say like Fi, who throws a breaking point straight away, it doesn't get the on hit because it's not the fifth, sixth, seventh
yeah,
bloody draconic chain or whatever. So it's not going to get any benefit then other than the go again. Um, so it's just raw damage. So you can maybe even just take the hit if it's not a big deal. I do agree that there's points where it will be good. My
yeah.
problem is that it's I don't want to give my opponent anything, anything
Oh,
as
that's
Bravo.
that's the difficult why that's the issue what I have with it as well. But
Mm,
in case of a CC play, you will have some attacks that come into where you have the knowledge of what the opponent can do. And
mm,
when you have a safe bet, where like, okay, I can block two now, my opponent will have a go again on all the attacks that he can use anyway. So either he just doesn't use any attacks, which is also good, which stops his turn from happening for the next bigger turn,
mm.
or he just attacks with it and the quicken token cracks. So I agree with you. It's going to be way more difficult to use it efficiently than the Iron Rod Legs.
Yeah,
But if you use it in the correct spots, it's just free health, which is insane. It's just It's just
It-
two
yeah.
health more than with Iron Rod Legs, and the
yeah,
Iron Rod Legs just have the plus point that you can
yeah,
block an on hit with a 4 damage attack with one card and the Iron Rod Legs at any point, and I can
yeah,
totally see that point. Yes, you have the issue with, okay, I need to block more efficiently or more um, in the moment, and sometimes I might need other blocking methods. Just do not give a quicken token in the wrong moment. Um, but in all honesty, you have two other equipments that can deal with that: the tectonic plating and the creative
great
fist.
fist.
That you can, when they're on one, they have exactly the same effect as the Iron Rod legs. It's just one time in the game when you want to use that effect of preventing an on hit from happening, where you need to know, okay, I will give my opponent a quicken token. And on top of that, you have a 2 block, which can block out some weapons, which can block out can prevent a whole chain link from hitting at all without using any cards from hand, with the drawback of a quicken token. So in the right moment use, this card is bonkers. In the wrong moment use, if you're not an experienced player, this card is garbage.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who doesn't play competitively, I look at Civic Steps to say I block a Kodachi or I block a weapon attack that would allow you to achieve your mask easier, and therefore I maintain tempo and don't allow you to have it. That's basically what I see it
Yeah,
as. I see it as a way to block
Mm.
a weapon swing, which won't allow them to extend their chain because it hasn't
yeah,
hit.
which is a
And
great example anyway with the Kodachis, because in Ninja, every card has go again on the get-go
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes.
Pretty
So
much.
it doesn't absolutely not matter if they get a quicken token or not.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like you said, there'll be plenty of times where you'll use it and you'll be like, haha, here's your useless quicken token. But then I don't know, part of my brain doesn't want to, like I said, I've always said it, but don't want to give my opponent anything. If my job is to disrupt, my job is to stop your turns, discard your hand, force you to use your entire hand to block. I don't want to give you the quicken, but the fact that I need to use so much mental arithmetic in certain games just to make sure that it's actually blocking in an effective manner. I think for me, it's like I'd just rather throw my arm out legs at it. Do you know what I mean?
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, the discussion was, is the card garbage or not? And
This is utter garbage.
in a playstyle that you like, it is complete garbage, yes.
Yeah.
But in a playstyle in a playstyle that I am at the moment, I also use Iron Rod Legs, by the way, because I'm not that versed in the current meta. That's why I use Iron Rod Legs, because I will just give away quicken tokens that are way too effective. But at the point where I want to be when I play competitively again, where I know the cards that are in the different decks and expect what I know what I can expect, I'll definitely switch to the Civic Steps, so I can have like these 2 extra hit points at my disposal.
Well, okay. So are you truly, I'll ask you an honest question. I want an honest answer. Are you truly, truly happy with one random non-foil card disrupting that beautiful
Fuck
full
you!
foil
Fuck you!
loadout?
Fuck you! It's not like this is the main reason why I still run my cold foil Iron Rod Legs. It doesn't have anything to do with that. No, that doesn't make me happy at all. And I need to contact Tobias to make me rainbow foil version of the
I was
Civic
just
Steps.
about to say, you know what to do. Contact Tobias. He'll make you an altar. Lovely old job.
No, Tom,
Oh.
I'm not okay with this. This is actually giving me sleepless nights.
Because I thought to myself, if anyone's going to fall down at this hurdle, it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me. It's going to be Pascal.
Oh, God.
It is okay. I mean, yeah, the fact that it's a temper piece
Yeah.
is fantastic. I will 100% put my hands up to. I don't know. I think for me, and I understand they've got to make one of them bad, haven't they? And no one's running the headpiece, or the chest piece, or the shield. Not that the shield makes a difference.
No, it's just the boot slot is the one that Bravo can change. The other ones, there's no point, is it?
I mean,
No,
you can technically use the new shield as well, because it basically does the same as the Steel Braid Buckler.
Yeah, stalagmite. Yeah, it's the same. Basically the same text without
Yeah,
it.
with just the ability that you can block for somebody else, I think, with the correct hero to it.
Yeah, it's an okay card. I don't know. I still don't like it. I'll be honest with you. Me and my friend Martin, we've been having plenty of conversations about it. We both can't bring ourselves to like it.
I mean, we didn't discuss about if we like it or not. We discussed about if it's good or not. I don't like it as well, because I have my cold foil Iron Rod Legs laying around now.
The fact that you just have them sat next to you is wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, I also put them ready for display for the Bravo Bros episode. Well,
Yeah.
But just to wrap up this this boots discussion, there was also a statement made on Mount Pilatus by Fedir, part of the Go Again Gaming vlog, where Pascal was like, "So, are the new boots any good, Fedir, on the side of Mount Pilatus?" So yeah, go and check that out as well at some point. I absolutely loved that. It was a great trip. I have to do it again sometime.
Just for the listeners, what was his?
Kadir liked the boots, didn't he?
Yeah.
He definitely agreed with everything.
I mean, he agreed with what I said. It depends on if the meta is going to be so open, so it's difficult to know whether to block with them or not, or if the opponents have it too easy to actually gain a profit out of this quicken token. You should not run them, but otherwise they will be good. If I remember his statement correctly. obviously. If you want to double check, just watch the very short movie as put together.
And where can that be found?
On Going on Gaming YouTube.
That's right, yeah.
There we go.
Channel Mount Pilatus was the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, moving on to what is I think we have one other talking point, didn't
Our
we?
final point. So obviously we have the Living Legend format popping up at Worlds for its first event. I think it's the Battle. Is it Battle Hardened? It's Battle Hardened,
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
I'm going to be playing in it as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who?
I'm going to be playing Azalea in the Living Legend format.
Of course you are.
I'll be I won't be able to go to Worlds, but I'm also very looking forward for the Living Legend format, and I'm definitely playing Chain.
Love it.
Do you know it's really
seriously? No, seriously, I'm looking so forward to play Chain because I really liked him in CC, and it was the only aggro deck I could feel a connection to so far. So yeah, I prefer Chain to Starvo. You know, in all honesty, I don't like the playwise of Starvo.
And do you know who I prefer out of all of them?
Prism.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you?
No. Sorry, I had to.
Because he gets his Skeleta back. Big fist.
Viserai.
Big fist. So you get to Bloodshea Skeletor, then you get to you do your Phantasm, you pop your Vexing Quillhand, whatever, then you pop your Skeletor, you do his new specialization card that does the same thing. It's like I just play all these big massive attacks for practically no cost.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Chain will be bonkers in Living Legend. I don't think so. I think he will be okay, but I just like the playwise of him.
I like Chain. I love Chain. I Chain's what I got top 8, how I got to a top 8 at ProQuest. Using Chain. Very fun times.
Well, he was the first time I qualified for ProQuest for Pro Tour.
Nice, fair play. But
I played him once and got into the final against somebody who already had a qualification. With my first big event playing Chain. After he reached Living Legend, I was like, okay, now I need to train. I want to play Chain in this final ProQuest, and I just qualified for Pro Tour.
Nice, fair play. But do we think Star of the Show is actually going to be any good? Because I saw a lot. Well, I feel like I saw a lot. It may be that I'm siloed in a little bit. A lot of people like, I'm dusting off Starvo. I'm going to play Starvo. Well, I still hate the term Starvo, by the way. I call him Sots because I thought it was funnier. But do we think he's does he matter in the Living Legend format? I guess is the question.
Well, I did a poll recently. It wasn't. There's not a large data size here, but I did a what will you be playing at Battle Hardened Living Legends format at Worlds, and 44% of people said Starvo, and that was out of 97 votes. That's 50 odd people out of 100 want to play Starvo because it's clearly the most powerful deck. That's what I got from it. 11% said Chain, 15% said Prism, and then 28% said Other. So one of the comments on there was also Icelander. So Icelander with no bans could also be quite good and maybe quite disruptive towards Starvo. That's what we have to remember as well, right? Living Legend is any hero you want with any cards you want.
Yeah. So you got Stubby's Fi.
Exactly.
Stubby Fi is also very, very strong. Yeah, I don't have a clear favorite which I would say, okay, this deck is the best. I must say, there's so many options open, so many possibilities. I can't wrap my head around any best deck. I just want to play Chain because I like the playwise, and I think he will be less good than Starvo, Briar, Viz, and Prism. But I like him.
But you just want to play it, yeah.
Because I remember Chain was gone. Like nobody cared about Chain because this was like your third in the triangle. It was Prism, Star of the Show, Viserai, and then they banned Skeletor, and then Chain tagged in. and then Chain
exactly.
hit Living Legend.
And that's why I think with Skeletor is better than Chain. Will be
Yeah.
more relevant than Chain in my expectations. And Starvo with his Awaken combo combo, take 5 damage, pulverize for 16, dominate, go again, hammer for 4.
Winter's Wail as well.
Yeah, Winter's Wail, hammer we talked about.
Yeah, very, very complex combo to just build. Take 5 damage and just crush your opponent.
Yeah.
Will be there as well. So,
That's
yeah,
funny.
I mean, I can imagine that Star Wars is going to be relevant. I don't think it's like the clear best deck.
Yeah.
But maybe I will be taught, and he is the
Well,
best deck.
James White said it though, didn't he, in the Q&A when the first question was, how did Starvo happen? They even said, like, during playtesting he was good, but he was nowhere near that good because everybody else had stuff that was better. Chain was there, Briar was fully up and running.
Yeah, I mean, Chain was there with his Seeds of Agony.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. So he's like, he's in theory, if he can pull everything off, yeah, he's good. But actually, if he comes up against someone like a he's Star of the Show doesn't like to block, so he's then going to have to contend with a hero who also doesn't like to block, but statistically is probably outputting more damage.
I played my Starvo way more like old him back in the days. So the first 2 cycles I just blocked, and then I went off. Yes, I want to time a lot, but
yeah. But then Oldham's in it as well, isn't he? Oldham's in there as well. So
Oldham's in there,
people got to think he if he comes in full bore fatigue, it's got to be, even for Starvo, it's got to be a tough match.
I played Oldhim in the Starvo meta, and I did win most of my Starvo matches. Yeah, because they just high roll, and once you have your second cycle, you can just crush them, or go to the third cycle with still blocking, and at some point when they're out of gas, you can just destroy them. It's difficult to do that in time, but if you have some time, it's fine. If your opponent also plays fast and you are playing very fast, then yeah, sure, Oldhim is not too bad. So my conclusion for a Living Legend, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
Same.
It's gonna be a tough format, I think, to navigate, because it's gonna be like the Wild West, because it's not just about the hero, it's about what cards are now available, because banned cards are just there, unless of course they decide to ban cards, which seems pretty pointless then, because then what's the point of the format?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The point is, it's the Wild West. Everyone comes in, everyone's got access to all cards. Are we going to see Drone of Brutality Riptide?
Oh god, yeah.
Probably. I mean, yeah, Throne of Brutality. Jesus Christ, I don't want to play the format. Sorry.
Are people sleeping on Drone of Brutality Azori? just going to keep swinging the Drone of Brutality at you.
Oh no, there we go. That's some hot tech.
Straight back underneath the deck, along with the stealth card you've just shoved under there as well. Later on, oh, guess what? That stealth card's back. Oh, and guess what I'm throwing with it? Yeah, Drone of Brutality.
I have no. Okay, let's just stop this topic. I'm not having fun with this. This sounds like
that. Drone of Brutality in Living Legend format.
Oh, I bet there's plenty of people who won't have thought of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, back when we did the last UPF episode when I was playing Valda, I also forgot about Throne of Brutality, because I made such a good fatigue deck, and then some people were just like, yeah, I just put Throne of Brutality, and it was like, fuck, I can't beat Throne.
Oh yes, the inevitable card I forgot to put in my deck when I'm playing Fatigue.
Yeah, I have not played any Throne of Brutality, but I still fatigued everyone by blocking them to death.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shield bash for the win.
That was the one we recorded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be coming out soon, but without all the editing. It's just going to come out as a Discord
Yeah, it does not make any sense to do all the editing. It's like 100 hours of editing for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
100
bothering,
clicks or
not
something.
bothering anymore.
No,
but
I don't think that you will make less clicks without the editing, just because the people who watch it will watch it anyway.
exactly, yeah,
So why bother? Yeah,
yeah,
I don't. I think. I mean, it looks nice. I like to watch it, but when I watch it, I mostly have it in the background anyway, so I don't care
yeah,
about the editing. So
exactly.
I'm looking forward for watching it even without the editing. So yeah.
Because that was that me, you, Jim, and Hank? No, Ian and
Uh,
Hank.
Ian and Hank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't get to do our commoner one, did we? That was pretty upsetting.
No, we didn't get to do it. No,
Dusted
because
of
I didn't know whether I was going to do the series anymore because it was just too much time. But I guess we
Yeah.
probably could have done it if it was just a Discord call.
dusted
just
of folding and everything.
Just
Yeah.
do the Discord call with a nice setup that you can just
With
like
just an overlay on
activate, and with an overlay that looks nice, and that's fine.
live totals, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There's my issue. I don't have a nice setup. So
Yeah.
maybe
No,
when the shop's open.
Yeah, probably. I mean, in all honesty, if you have a computer that you can use, just use your phone as a camera. If you have Wi-Fi, for example, and not a Mac, you can use your iPhone on a standee, and you can just like hang your iPhone over there,
Yeah.
and then you have a nice setup. I only have a microphone arm in my iPhone, and then can use that as a very good setup.
Yeah, fair play. We'll have to sort something out.
So I paid $20 for the microphone arm in Switzerland, and that's it. I didn't pay any more money.
That's not
for
bad.
the
That
setup.
isn't really for 20 quid.
For 20 quid is fine, or maybe 5 more quid for the app that actually lets you allow to use the iPhone as a camera on Wi-Fi.
Hopefully,
you can just
Huawei have that.
It will. It has. Yes.
No, it's
on
not
Android as
Huawei,
well.
is it? I've got Oppo. That's what I've got. Sorry, not
But
Huawei.
the only thing that doesn't work is iPhone on a Mac. For some reason, the app just doesn't work with iPhones and Macs. You need to have an iPhone and a Windows PC, then it works.
What the hell?
That's Apple, that is.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I don't think there's any other points we want to get into. So,
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
fantastic. So, before we get out of here, we'll do the round table. We'll start off with you, Pascal. Do you want to plug anything and everything where people can see you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm Superwoman on X. No, not Superwoman on YouTube. It's D-React on YouTube if you want to go in there. I've been quite inactive because of my water issue in my flat, so I can't use my flat at the moment. That's why I'm living in a basement again for a couple of months. So I don't really have the resources to do videos at the moment. But I'll be back as soon as I'm back in my flat.
Nice.
And also on the Go Again Gaming Discord, I was pretty active and plan to be again soonish.
That's okay. You can't keep up with it all. There's a lot of chat going on in there all the time at the moment. So don't expect everybody's. I don't even look at it. You know, every now and again. So
As we're not on your channel, so you need to promote yourself, I'm afraid.
nah, nobody needs to go check out what I'm doing. It's all garbage over there anyway. It's all rubbish over there.
But you've got some interesting stuff coming up.
Yeah. I'm going to. You'll see all this at Go Again Gaming YouTube. So this is my going to Worlds, obviously. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff over there. I did release an itinerary of what I'm doing on the channel the other day. So if you want to know all the ins and outs of what I'm going to be doing over there, it's going to be pretty stacked. So yeah, going to be lots of content on there. Living Legends podcast is another podcast I'm on, which is out every Wednesday. And yeah, Go Again Gaming AZ on X or Twitter, whatever it is now.
The X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
That's it, exactly. Xvideos.com. Sorry, X.
Just
X.com.
Whatever you do, don't type that in.
Yeah. Or do if you want a good time.
Yeah. Some cheeky free content, not the content we put out here but it's other content.
Exactly.
And speaking of X videos, actually, you can go follow the Big Boss Book Club on YouTube, Big Boss Book Club, where you will receive exclusive content if you subscribe, thrown through your window, wrapped in hardcore pornography, so no one will know the disgusting content that you're actually listening to. And Big Boss Book Club on Instagram, Facebook, and Big Boss 010 on X. Please like, subscribe, follow, do all that cool stuff. And check out Bravo Bros on Go Again Gaming on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And this has been Azz. This has been Pascal. I'm Big Boss. We're out. The Bravo Bros are out. Peace.
Bravo Bros.